Did you start looking for Big Nose Troy right away? Maybe 2 weeks later. And for this killing, did you use the same people that you had used before? Initially, yes, but I couldn't get in touch with Les because he was upstate somewhere and I wasn't going to use TJ. Why didn't you want to use TJ? Because he didn't fire any shots. Now, do you remember when this was that? First of all, do you remember when E Moneybags was killed? No, I don't remember. I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as 3500-EM-3, just for the witness. And do you see that on your screen? Yes. Having taken a look at that, does it refresh your memory of when you killed E Moneybags? Yes. When was that? 2001. Do you remember when in 2001? No. I would like to show you again the same document. Does looking at this refresh your recollection of when? It says July 16th, 2001, but I'm sorry, you're not supposed to read it. Does it help you remember when you killed E Moneybags? Yes, I know it was on or about 2001, but the date wasn't clear. Okay, eventually you and your hit team killed Big Nose Troy, correct? Yes. Do you remember when that was? A few months later. Also in 2001? Yes. All right, so you said that you were not going to use TJ for the murder? No. And you said that did you start looking for Big Nose Troy with Les? Yes, I did. He was in Maine, though, around the time, because we continued to look. He used to get back and forth out of town, him and TJ. Around that time, he was not available. He wasn't around. Do you remember looking for Big Nose Troy when Les was there? Was it the same pattern that you just described as far as looking for E-Moneybags? Yes. Now, when Les wasn't there, you had two people, two shooters you were missing. Is that right? Yes. What, if anything, did you do to make up for that? I hired eBay. You hired the defendant eBay to participate? Yes. How did you meet eBay? Through a guy named Kiddo. Kiddo? Yes, Kiddo. His name is Crawford. Do you know where Kiddo was from? From Brooklyn. Do you know where in Brooklyn? Not exactly. How did you know Kiddo? He was out of town in Pennsylvania with me. Selling drugs in Pennsylvania, is that right? Yes, he didn't sell drugs with me. I just knew him from being out there. Was he selling drugs also in Pennsylvania? Yes. How was it that how did you spend time with Kiddo? Actually, from Pennsylvania. Actually, he became one of my better friends. How frequently did you see Kiddo in around 2000, 2001? I used to go to Brooklyn every now and then to go see him. And how did you meet eBay through Kiddo? I met him in front of the projects. And did you have a discussion with eBay then, or did you just meet him? I just met him. Did you speak with eBay again after that? Yes. What were the circumstances of you meeting, of you discussing or having a discussion with him after that? Because he used to come uptown in Harlem because he had a girlfriend up there, so I ended up meeting up with him and just talking to him periodically. Now, do you recall asking eBay to take part in the murder of Big Nose Troy? Yes. What caused you to ask eBay to do it? Because a discussion me and Kiddo had before. Hold on. Is there an objection? Yes. Did you have a reason for doing this? The question? Yes, Your Honor. Objection overruled. You can explain the reason. The reason, Kiddo told me that eBay was one of the guys that put a lot of work in his neighborhood. Did you ask eBay actually to participate in the murder? Yes. What did eBay say? Yes. Did you offer him the money right away, or did that come later? Instantly. I told him he was going to get paid. Did eBay then start looking for Big Nose Troy with you? Yes. And did you use the same lake house as a restover spot? Yes. And do you remember whether or not eBay, from your observations, became friendly with anybody in the hit team that you already had? Yes. Who was that? Broughton. Tripp? Yes, Tripp. And how long? You and your team eventually murdered Big Nose Troy, correct? Yes. How long did you look for Big Nose Troy, do you think? Maybe a few months. Did you have access to the same guns as you had before? No, we had different guns. How do you know they were different? Because we swapped them out. I gave the old ones back to Supreme. He gave me new ones. Did you have the bulletproof vest at that point? None of us had it on, so I don't remember if we still had it. Somebody ended up stealing it later. Did How About still drive you around? Yes, he drove us around periodically. How did you communicate during that period when you were looking for Big Nose Troy with members of your hit team when you weren't all together? By telephone or two-way pages? Did you look for Big Nose Troy together every day? No. So when you wanted to get the team together, were you the one in charge of doing that? Sometimes, but they had already meshed together, so they would get with each other. What do you mean by that? They would just come together at the house in Queens, and How About would just ride them around. How did you know that? Because I communicated with them on that. They let me know that. Did eBay participate in those searches? I can't recall if he participated in all those searches. He participated in some of them? Yes. Now, eventually you ended up killing Troy. How did you find out where he was on the night he was killed? I had a two-way page from Supreme McGriff, and what he said was that it was a lot of bitches out the club. Excuse my language. What did you understand that to mean? I understand it to mean that the guys that we were looking for was over there, was in the club that he was telling me about. And was that based on anything that led you to believe that? Yes, that was kind of a code for us. We had been in different clubs before looking for the same guys, and we just call them bitches. Had you seen Big Nose Troy before? No. So what did you do once you got this page from Supreme? I was already in Queens. We had been searching for Big Nose Troy already, and I was on my way. We was on our way, leaving. We was about to go home, go back to Harlem, and I asked him where was How About so he could direct us to the club, but How About was unavailable. So what did you do? I told him to send me the address and we would try to find it ourselves. Were you already in Queens driving around on your own? Yes. How did you know your way around at that point? I had been riding around for so long that all I did was follow directions. Who was in the car with you riding around? It was me, eBay, Barry Broughton, and Smiley. Who was driving? I was driving. Did you have guns with you? Yes. How did you know that? Because I provided the guns. How did you know what Big Nose, who you were looking for when you were looking for Big Nose Troy? Because I had a discussion already about him having a brand new green truck or something. Any other description of him? Yes, that he had an extremely big nose. How about physically? Anything else? He was tall, slim of build. So what did you do after Supreme McGriff texted you or paged you about seeing people in the club? I found the club. Who gave you directions? Supreme. And what happened when you got to the club? I spotted the truck that I was being told about. It was a new truck, a new model, so it stood out. So I rode by it. Let me stop you for 1 second. About when in the course of the night was this? It was late. It was late. It was maybe anywhere between, I want to say, 11:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning. You were looking for a club. Do you remember what kind of club you were looking for? No, I can't recall. And you pulled up. Do you remember what the neighborhood was like that you pulled up to? It was a two-way street. It was kind of dark on one side of the street. On the other side, it was lit up. I seen the club, a lot of people standing out in front. So what did you do when you saw the truck? I was on the side of the club and the truck was on the other side. I rode past the club, looked, watched the truck, busted a U-turn and sat behind it, maybe 3 cars behind it. What made you think that that was the right truck? Because it stood out from the description of the truck that I was given. I didn't see any other truck that color. It was green. I think it was green. Were the shooters still in the car with you at this point? Yes. Including eBay? Yes. What happened when you parked a few car lengths behind the green truck? We just waited to see who was going to go to the truck. What did you see or hear? I heard the car start up. The engine actually started? The engine of the green truck actually started up. I was trying to figure out how the guy got past us because we didn't see anybody. What did you see happen at that point? Then I seen a guy that looked like he fit the description with the big nose, slim. He was walking towards the car. He was turned towards the direction of the club and he said, "Do you all know anything about this?" Where was he walking from? He was walking from the club side to the other side of the street. You were on the same side of the street as the truck? Yes, sitting behind it, maybe 2, 3 cars behind it. What did you see after you heard him? You heard Troy say what he said. I saw him walk across the street in the middle of the car. I told them, "That's him." I told the shooters that that was him. I was almost positive that was him. I was not sure, but I was almost positive. Let me ask you this. At the point that you told the shooters that, you said you weren't positive? I wasn't positive. You didn't have a photograph, did you? No. Did you make any other effort to confirm that this was the right person? No. So go ahead. I told them to shoot him. eBay got out the car first. Who got out of the car first? eBay. Where did eBay walk? Let me ask, do you recall sitting here where everybody was seated in the car at this point? eBay was sitting in the passenger side. In the front with you? In the front with me. So, Broughton was sitting behind me, and Smiley was sitting on the right-hand side, I think, if I can recall correctly. eBay, you said, got out of the car first? Yes, he was in the passenger side next to me. What happened after that? They approached the guy that was walking in the middle of the street, who we believed to be Troy, which turned out to be him, and eBay shot him in his head. So you said that eBay had got out of the car first. Did the other shooters get out of the car at that point? It was all around the same time. They was all getting out at the same time. You said that your car was parked. Was it next to the curb? Was it parallel parked? It was not next to the curb. It was a little further out into the street. Which direction compared to where your car was did the shooters go? Directly towards the guy. eBay came this way. Did eBay cross the front of your car to get to where the victim was? I can't recall if he crossed the front. I don't think he crossed the front. So where was the victim when eBay shot him in the head? In the middle of the street. And you said that, who did you see shoot first? eBay. And did you see anybody else shoot? Broughton shot him right after eBay. Can I ask you, what did Troy do when eBay shot him? He fell. On the street? Yes. And what did eBay do after shooting? Do you remember how many times he shot eBay? No. Do you remember what eBay did after he fired the shots? Started walking towards the car that I was in. You said that you saw Broughton shoot? Yes. What did you see? Where did you see Broughton shoot? Just in a downward motion. I couldn't see clearly where he hit him at. And then what did you see after that? I seen Smiley shoot him too, like almost as an afterthought. And where did the shooters go at that point? They got back in the car with me. Where did you go? I pulled off. I drove around the body and I waited at the light. What did you do after you got to the light, at the light? I was trying to calm Smiley and Broughton, calm them down. They was in the back screaming at each other. Broughton was mad that Smiley actually wasted the gun. What do you mean by that? He felt like the guy was already dead. Why did he shoot him to waste the gun? What do you mean by waste the gun? Broughton is a little gun fanatic. What does shooting with someone with the gun do to waste it? You have to get rid of it. Because it can be traced. Is that what you are saying? Yes. You tried to calm them down, and then where did you go? I made a left turn and I started driving. I asked eBay. I was going to drop him off first. He had to give me directions to get to where he was going. Where did eBay want to go? To Brooklyn. What did you do? I just followed directions and just drove with him. You drove with him where? From what I guess was Brooklyn. So you followed eBay's direction somewhere? I just followed his directions to where he wanted to go. Did you get to where eBay wanted to go? Yes. What happened? I asked him could he get rid of the guns for me. What did he say? He told me yes. What did you do after that? We gave him all the guns and he got out of the car and he gave us directions to get to Manhattan. Did you go to Manhattan at that point? Yes. What did you do when you got to Manhattan? I dropped Broughton off and Smiley and then I went home. I'm not sure if you said this. You said that the car started before the victim was actually in it? Yes. Did you see how that happened? No, I was confused, but I guess he had an automatic starter.